What do you imagine when you think of your ideal city? Is it eco-friendly, technologically advanced, or maybe just full of friendly people? Whatever your version of the perfect city looks like, chances are some clever folks have tried to build it already. Throughout history, there have been many attempts to create the ultimate society where everything runs like clockwork and everyone is happy. Unfortunately, most of these utopias fell apart for one reason or another. So join us today as we explore 5 forgotten futures, utopian experiments that failed. No. 5. Telluride. Imagine a city free of poverty, crime, and even traffic lights. In the 1880s, this was the dream of the Telluride Land and Investment Company, a group of businessmen from the East Coast who envisioned a town in Colorado's San Juan Mountains that would be both an economic powerhouse and a worker's paradise. Their plans included a sprawling town center with wide boulevards, electric streetcars, and spacious parks, as well as subsidized housing, free medical care, and an 8-hour workday for all residents. But their vision of Telluride never quite came to fruition. Number 4. What would you say is the most important quality of a perfect society? For some, it might be freedom of speech or religion. For others, it could be economic security or a clean environment. But what if you could have it all in one place? That was the promise of Eco Village, an experimental community founded in the 1970s by a charismatic leader named Murray Bookchin. Bookchin believed that the problems facing the world at the time, including poverty, war, and environmental degradation, were all symptoms of a deeper malaise afflicting modern society, which he called the authoritarian mentality. To overcome this problem, he proposed creating small, self-sufficient communities based on principles of ecological sustainability and direct democracy. Unfortunately, Ecoville didn't live up to its founders' lofty ideals. Despite its best efforts, the community couldn't become completely self-sufficient and ultimately dissolved in the early 1980s. Nevertheless, Bookchin's ideas continue to influence environmental activists and urban planners around the world who are still searching for ways to create more sustainable and equitable cities. 3. Harmony. Did you know that the first settlers of Australia were actually convicts? Between 1806 and 1853, more than 160,000 men, women, and children were transported across the globe to serve time in one of Australia's infamous penal colonies. These colonies were often overcrowded and unsanitary, with inmates forced to work long hours in harsh conditions. As a result, many convicts simply couldn't survive the ordeal and perished in Australia's unforgiving wilderness. However, there was one colony that was different from all the rest. Founded in 1840 by a man named John Theophysis, Harmony was designed as an experiment in penal reform. Instead of relying on force and intimidation to control the convicts, Theophysis believed that they could be rehabilitated through hard work and exposure to the natural beauty of Australia. He gave them land to farm, tools to build homes, and schools to educate their children. It was an ambitious project, but it worked. Many of the convicts at Harmony went on to lead productive lives after their release, proving that rehabilitation was possible. But the good times didn't last forever. In 1853, the colony was opened to free settlers, which led to overcrowding, poverty, and crime. And in 1860, Harmony was officially disbanded. However, the experiment had far-reaching implications for how we approach criminal justice even today. Number 2. New Harmony. In the early 19th century, American utopian Charles Fourier envisioned a world made up of harmonious communities, each composed of 1,500 to 2,000 people who lived and worked together in perfect balance. These communities, called phalansteries, would be self-sustaining and self-governing, with members contributing whatever skills they could and sharing in the profits according to their needs. The idea was put into practice in 1825 with the founding of New Harmony in Indiana. For a few years, New Harmony thrived. Its residents enjoyed bountiful crops, comfortable housing, and a strong sense of community. However, the experiment began to fall apart when the community's finances became mismanaged and eventually collapsed. By 1827, the communal property had been divided among individual families, and the once utopian community descended into squabbling and gossip. Eventually, the settlement was abandoned and the residents moved away. But New Harmony's legacy lives on in the many utopian communities that have been inspired by Fourier's ideas over the years. No. 1. The City of the Sun. Have you ever heard of the City of the Sun? If not, you're not alone. This bizarre utopian experiment was largely forgotten until historians uncovered its secrets in the early 20th century. But between 1682 and 1704, the City of the Sun was one of the most talked about projects in Europe. The idea was the brainchild of a German-born architect named Christian Kietan, who published a book outlining his plans for a self-sufficient city that would function without government or religion. According to Kietan, the city would be circular in shape, with the mayor and his court located in the center and radiating spokes, connecting them to the 12 sectors that would surround it. Each sector would be home to 1,000 citizens who would live and work together in harmony. The city would be powered by water wheels and windmills, and its streets would be lined with trees and flowers. It might sound idyllic, but the reality was far different. After Christian Kietan published his book, he was arrested for heresy and spent the rest of his life in prison. His utopian city was never built, but its influence can still be seen in the works of later architects and urban planners. From utopian communities to imaginary cities, humans have always dreamed of creating the perfect society. But, as we've seen, things don't always go according to plan. Sometimes the best-laid plans of mice and men do indeed go awry, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't keep trying. After all, it's only through experimentation and a willingness to embrace new ideas that we can create a better future for ourselves and our communities. What do you think is the secret to building a utopian society? Do you think it's even possible to create a world where everyone is happy all the time? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. And while you're at it, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode of our channel. Until next time, remember to stay curious and keep asking questions. The answers might just surprise you.